A moment ago, crossing on the wires, it was reported that Russia is now having top secret drones made in China that they can use in the war effort against Zelensky. So that is top of mind at the UN right now. And Michael Allen joins us for his take on what's happening on that war. And Michael, where do you think this is headed? If you can, go.
Well, I thought it was smart that Zelensky talked about the nuclear power plants in Ukraine. That was a new dimension that we haven't heard enough of, and that was a method for him to try and recapture the world's attention. So much of our attention has focused towards the Middle East and to other conflicts. I don't think we've spent as much time on Ukraine. By the way, I think it's kind of smart for him to come to the United States with a peace plan that he wants to present not only to the Biden administration, but to former President Trump. I think that he's seeing the politics in America shift against Ukraine, and he's got to have something to bring to the table.
And so what would he be asking the Biden administration for right now because he can present a peace plan, but at the same time, his country is being hit over and over again?
I think he knows that the Biden administration is trying to expedite all of the shipments of weaponry that they can in case President Harris or Vice President Harris doesn't win election. It's President Trump, however, that they really need to work on. He's in the lead in the polls. J.D. Vance wants to sort of freeze the conflict and get out. I think Zelensky wants to go to Trump and say, I know you want to be credited with ending this horrible war. I need more time. I need your support to try to even condition Putin into a position where he might be willing to negotiate a ceasefire.
Michael, I would just add 2 points on that. Polls can go either way, and you can read them in different ways right now and come up with your own conclusions as to whether or not you think Harris or Trump is in the lead. Two things I would add here. Regardless of the outcome in November, Joe Biden's going to be the commander-in-chief for 3.5 more months as of today. And yesterday, Zelensky was given another commitment on behalf of the U.S. government for upwards of, I think $400 million in military assistance, which includes cluster bombs for the Ukrainian military. And you know what you would use a cluster bomb for in a war like this? The Russian soldiers are dug in deeply in southeastern Ukraine. Cluster bombs would help dig them out.
That's exactly right. I think we're trying to empty out our arsenals, send them to Ukraine. Congress has already appropriated money for us to refill our arsenals with new stuff. A lot of this stuff is being spent in the United States. And you're exactly right. Ukraine is having a very hard time of late. It used to be just incremental losses that we talked about. I'm afraid they're back on their heels, by the way, in the Donbass. You're right, they're dug in down south. And so Zelensky, I think, has political problems all over the world, and he's definitely got problems on the battlefield back home.
Michael, could you speak to the cooperation between China and Russia when it comes to weapons and what else we should know, especially if you add North Korea and Iran to that mix?
Yeah, we talk about this new alliance, and Russia and China are so thick together. It's China that's keeping Russia afloat, their war effort, not just with dual-use items, but things that go directly into weapons. The North Koreans are, of course, assisting the Russians with weaponry and missiles in particular. And of course, we know Iran gives them drones, and there may be a sinister trade afoot for Russia to send certain missiles or nuclear assistance to Iran. So these four countries work together all the time. They're a true sort of axis of upheaval, as people have begun to call them, and it's something that we have to watch as a nation going into this presidential election.
Michael, thank you. It is a busy news day, to say the least, here at home and certainly around the world. And that's just one of our stops today. Thank you, Michael. I want to get to the Middle East right now because you